my dad was a school teacher, so, it was a household of modest means, and that sort of stuck with me, this whole idea of like, if you really want something special, you have to make it. So yeah, I was on a train in Chicago on my way to school, and this woman stopped me and said, "Oh, I like your jacket, that's really cute. Who made it?" And I was like, "Oh, me, I'm a designer," which I was like 18, I think, and totally, completely clueless. And so she gave me her card and said, "Bring your collection to my office on Monday so I can see it." And so I went to her office, that was on a Friday. I went to the fabric store, bought a bunch of fabrics, sewed all weekend, made 5 things, brought them to her office, was showing her, and she's like, "Oh, I like that one. What's the style number on that?" 1. 2, and so she was like, "Let me guess, 3, 4, 5, right?" So then she wrote me an order, which buyers never really do right then and there. But I think she had asked me, how much is that style number 1? And I was like, "Oh, what do you think you can sell it for?" And that's when she said, "Have you ever done this before?" And I was like, "Oh yes, I sell to a lot of European stores," or something like really like totally unbelievable. But she gave me the order, and I sewed everything and delivered it to her office in shopping bags, totally clueless. I think I've always been interested in not so much like fashion as the what people this narrow definition, more of like the act of creating, and how can I, extend that reach, and what, and sort of like the sky's the limit, which is good because I think it allowed me to work with Target when no other designer was having a runway show, and we're, selling to a mass retailer. Now everybody does it, and 100% designers are going to start doing commodities. You'll see them doing things like Band-Aids, diapers, toilet paper, that's my dream, and garbage bags. But for sure, those are things that, you have to stay nimble, you have to evolve. Like, think about think about people like Madonna, why is she still relevant after all these years? Because she's evolved, she keeps moving forward, and staying loose and nimble, and sort of like reacting and influencing our culture in a way that is totally her own path. And I think that that's like something to think about, like whatever you're doing, like don't get stuck in that rut of like, well, this is what I do, I gotta stick to this, because there's no rules, there's no definitive path. We have this truck that is a old DHL truck that we bought on eBay that we wrapped in a beautiful floral print, and we tricked it all out, and it has like hardwood floors and lights and music and everything, and so that travels across country, and it's selling. All of everything that's in our store is for sale in the truck, but it's also advertising because it's driving, down every highway with a giant Cynthia Rowley on the side, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, I saw your truck in Soho, I saw it in, Ohio, I saw it in whatever." So the world is different all over, and I think you have to be, you can't just, force your aesthetic and your product on another culture. It really should be sort of like some blending of, really staying true to yourself and your brand, but understanding that it is like there's a history and a culture that's established that, kind of at least needs to be able to relate a little bit.